Hi everybody. In our continuing effort to get you to do projects in version 2.8, when the videos were made with 2.79, I have to actually go through every single one of them and probably redo them. Anyway, Vinny did alert me to the problem that the XYZ math function was not present in Blender 2.8. So here's the link. Click on that, and what will happen is, notice in the lower left, I'm using Chrome, that a zip file with the right file has downloaded, and here it is. And then come over to Blender and go Edit, Preferences, click Add-ons on the left, click Install, and then we want to go to Downloads. You have to browse, use your navigation to browse to Downloads, and then come down to Meshmaster Zip. Okay, I did it a couple of times, so it's here. Click on it, and install add-ons from File, click that, and then under, let me look one more time, it shows up here, make sure that it's clicked on. So that's add-ons. It should say mesh, math mesh. And once that's on, you can close this and you're good to go. The rest of the video is similar, but I might as well finish it for you. So I'm going to click on the 3D cursor and stick it on the top of the cube here and hit Shift-A, mesh, math function. So down here on the right, XYZ. We've already played with this before we left for break, and what first happens is here I click this lower left hand side here. Oops. Let me close that. Right here on the lower left, you'll get the little shell that we were playing with. Since I already installed this, it's looking for that one. But I click that button and expand this window, and then Operator Presets, you click here and scroll down to Twisted Torus, and then add that, and notice how big it is here, and on the wrong orientation. So first thing I'll do is hit the letter S for scale, and then drag my mouse, and then R for, let me hit number 1 first, and R, Y, 90, enter, G, and then Z, and enter, and here we go. Okay, so everything is pretty much the same. I'll finish it out here. Shade smooth, I right-clicked on it and smoothed it up. I want to hit number 1 again and left click the 3D cursor down here at the bottom and Shift A, mesh plane, S10, enter. Orbit around so that the camera is between you and the object. Zoom out. Tab to edit mode, and then double A to unselect your plane. Hit number 2 to select the edge select tool. Right click, left click, that's right click from the old version. Hold Shift, left click, so both are selected. E for extrude on the Z, so easy, and then pull with your mouse. Good. Now we just have to make a material and light it. So left click on, let me go back, I'm sorry, to object mode. Left click with the selector selected, not the 3D cursor. Old habits are hard to kill. And then down here on the right, hit the light bulb for the properties, and I used a spot again, and I can rotate it, so R, power, let's try 5,000 enter. Color, I'm going to keep white for now. Left click on the torus, come down to on the right here, your Materials tab, click New, and leaving Principled alone, Metallic, I'm going to make it 1, all the way up to 1, Base Color. I'm going to give it a brass color in here, and then I'll dial the roughness according to what this looks like. So let's take a look in rendered view here and dial in. We're working in EV mode here. And as I take this down the roughness to less rough, it'll become more metallic. But I want to stop before I'm just totally reflective and reflecting back the world. Excuse me. Another thing is cycles oftentimes is a prettier looking render. So I'm coming up here to the camera and render engine EV, change it over to cycles, and it's got a lot more going on in terms of the way reflective metal and glass look and so on. So pretty much I'm just going to set the camera up and render this just like this. And take a couple of views of it. So remember, for camera, hit 0, and then to lock the camera to the view, hit N, click View, click Lock Camera, hit N to get rid of this menu. Sorry. And now we can zoom out. And orbit, and pan. I'm going to go back to solid just because the computer will work faster. You may want to, before you render your object, also go into solid mode. Oop. Okay. So zoom out, pan down. Let's look at the shadow here. Zoom in. Take a peek here before you render it. And F12. And I'll pause it here. Okay, so here's the render. I rendered it at 100% in HD resolution. It took me 5 minutes, 39 seconds. Let me show you over here on the Output tab. This is where we change the width and the height. If you wanted it more square, remember you can dial this in this direction and dial this in that direction, and that changes how this looks, right? Make this a little bit more like that, and then do a second render. If you're having trouble rendering, if your computer's crashing or it's simply taking too long, you see where it says 100%? You can take this one down to 50%. And let me do another render here. And it doesn't have to be exactly 50, but take it down quite a bit. And then when you hit F12 again, the render is going to be a lot faster. Instead of 5 minutes, it's probably going to be a minute or less. So, and the file size is still big enough to post on the blog and be good for class. When we worry about bigger renders, it's really a matter of what is the output going to be used for? Is it for an HD video? Is it for a print, which would even need larger file size than an HD resolution? So that's the story. Have fun with this and see you on the blog.